time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now, not gonna fake.
Hi guys, welcome to Truth Talkin Thursday. This is Jim, I'm Jane. We're back, yay!
We are, hooray!
And I have a question today. So I'm hoping that you can give me some feedback because this is a legitimate question that I have. I want to know, what is it that makes people try to get the most they can from someone or something in any manner that it takes? Does that make sense? Am I explaining myself right?
Perfectly.
Well, I mean, look at the windstorm we just had. I'm sure there'll be insurance claims for things that didn't necessarily happen during the storm.
I'm sure there will be.
What makes people do that? And why? What are we actually hoping to gain?
I think it's there's all kinds of reasons why. How much time do we have? There's I think there's folks that are disenfranchised. Meaning that that at some point in their life, perhaps they've either worked really hard and really been mistreated at some point, taken advantage of themselves, and finally just snapped and said, "That's enough. I'm going to get my due back." That's one. There's one person. There's one type of person out there that's kind of mentally challenged in ways where they think it's like a compulsive liar, and there's a difference between being a compulsive liar and a habitual liar.
Okay.
So one is one feels the need to expand the reality, we'll say. They'll build on something that's really actually happened, but they add to it. They make it bigger than life.
Embellish.
They embellish the story and all that kind of stuff because they want to. They have this feeling about being in the center of things and having people look at them and go, "Oh wow, that And then there's the other kind of person who does that just either to hide behind the story that they're telling. They feel the need to just expand it for no particular reason other than the fact that they can. Nobody knows about it anyway. Nobody, so they don't know whether I'm telling the truth or not. So I can make it sound this way and that way. There's people who feel justified in taking advantage of other people, usually friends.
So that's one of the biggest puzzles that I struggle with. Why would you take advantage of friends or someone that you call your friend?
Because you can.
Because you can.
Friends don't often call friends on stuff like that.
Why?
Why don't they? Well, I guess some people value the friendship more than what happened. And it's not worth...
That's fair.
To me, it's usually about justification. It's usually about justifying in some way, shape, or form that person's behavior. So
in a nutshell, someone with that mentality doesn't really give a crap about anybody but themselves. So, I mean, I've heard the saying, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you."
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking about, like screwing over your boss or, screwing over your employee or... Well, your employee is front line. Your employee you need to take care of. But on the flip side of that coin, the employee needs to remember your boss is who pays you. Do you want a job or don't you?
That's right. The employee has to, at some point, the employee has to make sure that the employer is taken care of too and looked after. Because if I don't look after my employer, I'm no longer going to be that person's employee.
But yeah, but it works all the way around the board. Like, I'm also thinking about, your clients or customers or what have you, whatever your line of work is. It works that way as well, back and forth. If I don't please my client, my customer, whatever word you use in your line of work, if you don't please that person, that person is gonna not require your services anymore. They're not gonna need them because they don't need to put up with that, whatever it is that's troubling them. And it's possible that they could reflect poorly on your business.
Oh, absolutely. They're not going to give you a glowing report.
But on the flip side of that coin, if you are the client or the customer and you treat somebody badly, okay, my business is cleaning. Do you think a cleaning team is gonna want to come back to your home if you insult them and treat them poorly? Not likely. Not likely.
No, not likely.
You know, you and I have talked numerous times about the golden rule, about doing to other people what you want to have done to yourself.
Yeah.
Give and receive.
Right. And that's still the best advice I could give anybody.
Yeah. But this is what I don't understand. There is no end to that. There is no end to the golden rule. It is my belief, if you apply the golden rule all the way across the board in your life, how is that a bad thing?
I don't think
in
it is a bad
every
thing.
aspect of your life.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Do we do it to win favor with the other person, or do we do it because it just feels right to us to do it that way? And
you do it because it's the right thing to do.
For who?
And for your own self.
For your own self.
For your own self.
That's right.
It benefits nobody else but your own self. And if everybody would look at that I'm being true to myself, I'm doing what's right for me, then that's a good thing. What kills me the most is that the biggest abusers of what we're talking about seem to be people that are so-called Christians. And it drives me nuts because it makes me sick. You know what? I don't go to church. I did. I spent most of my life in church every single Sunday, and I was happy to do so. But if there's one thing I feel certain of, every church is full of hypocrites.
I wouldn't say full, but I would say every church does have hypocrites in it.
I would stick my neck out and say there's more hypocrites than not.
Would you?
Yep.
Well, this could be a two-part episode here then.
Could be.
We
could be
go
just
on for a bit.
could be just the mood I'm in today, but hey.
Well, there's that too, but you certainly are welcome to your feelings about it and your thoughts about it. I think church groups are like any other group of people. They're like optimists, they're like lions, they're like whoever. I mean, any sort of group of people or cross-section of the population in a town someplace, for instance, or a village someplace, is going to have their fair share of hypocrites.
And I just want to be clear, I've been a hypocrite too. And I'm sure I will again.
Did anybody ever trust you with a secret and you said to somebody else, "Don't tell anybody I told you this," but?
Yep.
That's hypocritical.
Sure it is. Definitely.
And I've done it too.
I'm not letting myself off the hook.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
we're pretty crappy people sometimes. And sometimes I think we need to take a good look at ourselves and just say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like I think what you said a little bit ago when we first started this conversation, when you said the friendship means more than the incident that happened. Is it worth it? I think that is a great question. And that doesn't only apply to friendship. That applies to business. That applies to spirituality. That applies to your children, parent-child relationship, spouse relationship. It applies all
Everywhere.
across the board.
Everywhere.
All across the board.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? We're not going to fix that.
No, not at all.
And there are those people, and good people, salt of the earth folk and all that kind of stuff, who just feel the need or the right to take from other people or to get the best of a deal with somebody else. And they kind of hang their self-esteem on that idea that they're better than somebody else at something. And I think sometimes that carries over into friendships as well. I think they put the friendship second best.
Nice.
So what's the lesson in that?
I think it all comes down to looking at ourselves. I truly do, because these experiences that happen that make us think these things are for a reason. I don't know what they are. I don't know if the lesson's for me. I don't know if the lesson's for somebody else. Exactly.
And if you care.
Exactly.
I was taught earlier, in another life, I guess, that you never take advantage of a friend.
Never.
And if you can live by that, you'll be fine.
Never take advantage of a friend. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that really, really hard while you're making your next decision, whatever it may be, whatever it affects in your life. Just think about that.
Absolutely.
And have a great week.
All the best. Thoughts for stopping by.